Alain, directly to you. Does an organic sunscreen, does something, if somebody cares to still want to wear sunscreen and they want to use something that's organic, that's made with care, that's small scale, does it have to be expensive?
No, for the amount that you use over a whole season, it's, compared to everything else that people spend money on, it's very little. So it depends where you put your health in terms of priority of your spending.
It's a great answer. It's pretty much makes that answer. Thank you for that. And the idea, also a question, another question, which is SPF 30 okay?
Yes, actually, there are countries, for example, as in Australia, and I look at Australia as being sort of the experts in sunscreen. Reason being, a lot of research was done there because for a while the ozone on top of them was a little bit thinner because of pollution, and the cancer rate was a lot higher. And if you go to Australia today or tomorrow, and you want to go buy a sunscreen, you will not be able to buy a sunscreen with a higher number than 30, because the Australian government, they figured out that companies were using it as a marketing thing. And in Canada, they capped it at 50 around 3-4 years ago. I mean, I was seeing sunscreen from big brands like SPF 100. So what is it? You apply it once, you're good for the summer? I mean, it just didn't make sense, right? And even at that, you're still supposed to reapply your sunscreen every 2 hours, there's one thing that Jacqueline said earlier, and that's one thing I'm going to do more in my talks when I give conferences and things, is talk more about how the importance of actually going out in the sun without sunscreen in the proper way. Yeah, so thank you for bringing that up earlier. I'm going to bring that up in my conferences.
And let me just say that number one is, when you come on as a quote unquote expert and you have an open conversation where you actually take something away, where you've also learned. When you teach, you learn, right? In that way. So thank you for that. And also just a huge round of applause again. And so the reason why I'm a fan is, for anyone listening, imagine someone who's created an organic sunscreen, who really cares, who feeds his family and pays his bills and creates a company based on sales of a sunscreen, who's going to talk about not wearing a sunscreen and getting it in the sun. And Alain, thank you, because that's what I said in the beginning is, the humans behind your brands and their motivation and their intentions really matter. So thank you. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to reflect on and take away from this call. Just another reason to love Green Beaver and support and understand that our money, when we buy certain products, really does support something beyond the product that we're actually buying. So this is a big question because, again, I have a background in French and in marketing, so I can't comment on science, and I stay away from things, when it's Gita, you're on this call as a nutritionist, and there's so many things about, everything is connected. I understand that to some small degree of understanding that everything's connected. But when we're hydrated, we can probably take sun in a very different way than if we're dehydrated, right? From our levels, from our mental, emotional health, how we feel out in the sun. What about a sunscreen like that we can drink? So what about antioxidants and sunscreens? Jack, can you comment on that?
Yeah, I've talked to patients about that historically. Both those things, like your hydration, levels, is one of the most important things you can do for your skin health. Both from water, of course, but even your essential fatty acids, right? From those two things are very important. So your water and your oils, but also the antioxidant piece is huge. And so I used to counsel patients before, if they were going on a holiday, let's load you up on antioxidants prior to that. So again, you've got, your vitamin A, C, E, selenium, zinc, because they all work synergistically, right? A lot of times taking single nutrients will only get you so far because there's such a synergistic, especially with antioxidants, approach to them.